and Dad, I'm doing fine. You guys are on my mind. You asked me what I wanted to be, and now I think the answer is plain to see. I wanna be famous. I wanna live close to the sun. Oh, pack your bags, cause I've already won. Everything to prove, nothing in my way. I'll get there one day. Cause I wanna be famous. Na 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 na. I wanna be famous. I wanna be famous.
Well, hey there guys, welcome back to the Animation Block Cartoon Podcast. This is episode number 18. 18, right? This is pretty cool. We're almost at 20. We'll be at 20 in a few weeks, so we've got some fun things planned for that 20th podcast, so make sure you are here. But in this week of animation, so just a quick little thing. I know today's Tuesday, and you guys are all like, hey, isn't the Animation Block on Saturdays? Yeah, it was, but I was busy doing some Labor Day weekend stuff and some other things, so it's going to be today on Tuesday. I believe today is the 6th, September 6th, but expect a new episode of the Animation Block next Saturday or Sunday. Again, not really sure which day, but we're not going to be switching the days to Tuesday. It's always going to be on Saturdays just for this week. Things got a little funky, and that's why it's today. But like I said, in this week of animation, some fun stuff. And specifically, the premiere of Mighty Magiswords. So I've been very excited about this show. I love the shorts on the Cartoon Network Anything app. I love the little mini episodes that Cartoon Network would release on YouTube. Yesterday, September 5th, wasn't its official release date, but I think the official release date's like the September 29th, I'm pretty sure it's September 29th. Because it's going to be moving to that, the big primetime Cartoon Network Thursday cartoon slot. That's usually when the new cartoons come out on Cartoon Network. So I think that's coming at the 29th. But yesterday, for Labor Day, they did this tease episode. It was like a 15-minute episode, 11 minutes, something like that. So I was able to check that out. But I also watched a couple of the other preview episodes that Cartoon Network has released on their YouTube channel and, of course, on demand. So I'm going to be talking about those. My thoughts on the show. Is it worth watching? Is this another Powerpuff Girls, Teen Titans Go kind of, big stupid piece of crap, blowout, all that? Or is it something more like We Bare Bears or Steven Universe, something that really is breathtaking? And I will be talking all about that. The next thing, it's a bit of a not as much cartoon topic, but I think it is worth talking about because of what will be happening, and that is all about Nintendo's 3DS Direct. Now, these Directs, let's give a breakdown of what these Directs are. So every now and then, Nintendo will come out and they have some big announcements, something that they want to show off. Of course, last week really was PAX West, which is the second big gaming actually, you know what, I take that back, third big gaming convention throughout the year. There's PAX East, there's E3, which is usually the biggest, like the video game Comic-Con, and then there's PAX West. Now at PAX West, I believe Nintendo released this Direct and some new announcements for 3DS. So these Directs, they're just big announcements Nintendo has, but it's kind of like a keynote presentation, very similar to like what Apple does when they announce their new iPhone, which I actually believe is happening very soon for the iPhone 7. Very off topic there, but the Nintendo Direct this time all about the 3DS, new games that are going to be coming out, new features it's going to be having, kind of conversions like games like Super Mario Maker are making the jump from Wii U to the 3DS, along with other games like Yoshi's Woolly World, which I'm very excited about, is coming to 3DS. But in the animation type news about this is mainly that Nintendo will also, on the 3DS, they will be releasing animated shorts to go with these games, and specifically for Yoshi's Woolly World, I believe, and also Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, which is a new big Sonic game. I know a lot of people are very excited about it. I believe there's a new Legend of Zelda game They're doing this big Legend of Zelda anniversary, so some Link stuff. I'm going to be breaking down more of that, some of my thoughts on that. And we're going to close off with a topic that I think needs to be talked about, mainly because this never seems to change. And this is also going to kind of connect, I guess, to Mighty Magiswords and my thoughts on the show. But the way animation has been progressing, I feel like sometimes I've kind of gone on rants or rambles about this in past Animation Block episodes. But really, for me, I really am disappointed in the way animation has progressed. Not with Mighty Magiswords. Mighty Magiswords, I'll spill the beans here. I really like Mighty Magiswords a lot. So I think that's moving in the right direction. But there's been some new shows that have been announced for Disney XD, for Cartoon Network, and to me, they just piss me off. They completely piss me off. There's this new show coming to Disney XD called Right Now Kapow. Alright, before I even say what I'm going to say about this, I'm just going to let you guys know I have not seen this show yet. I've watched the trailer many times, and the trailer pisses me off. I have no attraction to the show. There's nothing there. Sometimes I'll watch a show because I love the animation style. I don't even like the animation style. This seems like a dumb piece of crap. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Maybe the show is going to be the next Phineas and Ferb, the next SpongeBob. I've got no clue, okay? But for me, I'm disappointed with the way the animation's progressing in this goofy type style for kids. And I don't think kids need goofy stuff. I'll go more in depth about that. Another example, Pickle and Peanut, which is another show that's on Disney XD, and for some reason is still going on. Now, what pisses me off about this is that there is literally nothing. I'm gonna be honest here. At least 75, maybe 70 to 75% of the show, the animated shows on right now, currently, whether it's for little kids or for adults or anywhere in between, they're about two best friends doing some crazy shit because they can. And there needs to be more of a plot there, and Pickle and Peanut is just a prime example of this pickle and a peanut, for some reason, that talk, and they do crazy shit. And you can see I'm already getting heated over this. We'll talk more about it later. I think you'll get a good kick out of that. But for me, it's just progression. And looking back on the great days, like Lilo and Stitch, or Kim Possible, or American Dragon Drake Long, or how about Danny Phantom? I know a lot of people want to see that return. I'll even go as far to say something like Ed, Edd and Eddy, Courage. You know, these are some great shows. You know, even something like Johnny Test, which isn't that old, or I don't know, like, what's another one? Like, even something like Chowder, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but I know that it had its fan base there. And, my points is that there was a time when animation was fun, it was different, and now it just seems like these big studios are just doing whatever they want because they're like, ooh, kids like goofy crap now, goofy crap, and it doesn't make sense to me, and we'll talk more about it later. But I want to start with my most excited topic. I'm very excited about this, Mighty Magiswords. So here is my review of the show. Now, there hasn't been too many reviews of this to come out yet, but for the ones that have, there's been a couple very, very small channels. I can't even name the names because I don't remember, sadly. I wish I could plug some of these channels so you guys could check them out, but some little small channels, some guys or girls had reviews of this. And I enjoy watching other people's reviews because then I get to understand, aside from my opinion, what the rest of the general public really thinks about it. And it was mixed. Some of these guys were very enthusiastic about the show, and some, very few, but some thought it was bad, Mighty Magiswords. Now, it's from creator Kyle A. Carosa, who worked on SpongeBob SquarePants, a lot of other smaller stuff, but I respect the way he comes up with ideas for animation. I respect his thoughts on animation. So I was very excited about this, and let me just backtrack here. A couple weeks ago, I did a whole thing about Mighty Magiswords, giving my initial thoughts on the trailers, all that stuff. And now, a few weeks later, the show has kind of released its first episode and theme song. And I'm going to say I really, really like this a lot. I think this will become a new Cartoon Network classic whether you like it or not. And that is mainly because it has everything it needs to make this something different and fresh, but very appealing on Cartoon Network. Now, here are the high points of the show. First of all, I like the intro, the theme song. It seems pretty good. It's not as annoying as some other ones, but at the same time, it does what it needs to. It's fine. But overall, I fell in love with Vamber, and I fell in love with Prohyas, and just everything that they were throwing out, I fell in love with. I love the animation. I feel like it's so different. The epic voiceover guy who's like, "Mighty Magiswords!" That, I think that is original. And some people were like, the epic voiceover guy, whatever they call him, whatever his name is, voiceover man, some people were saying that they thought it was annoying. I think it adds something so different, a full new blown flavor to this show, to any show really. It gives it almost like I don't know how to explain it, but almost like a different, you have a different perspective, almost like somebody else is already watching this and you're watching somebody else watch the show. I also find it very interesting the way that they incorporate the action cartoon. Now, at its core, whether you recognize it or not, at its core, Mighty Magiswords is an action cartoon, which is another reason that I really love it. There's something about it where I feel like in the past, even on Nickelodeon or Disney XD or Disney Channel, there have been times when they'll try to make a comedy show an action cartoon, or vice versa, an action cartoon a comedy show, and it just doesn't work. But for me here, it's all about the execution. And it's executed, again, with the epic voiceover guy, the idea of choose your Magisword. And you actually watch them. They have two options, either the Dolphin Magisword or the Mummy Magisword, and they'll choose it. You watch them choose it. There's that element. And then, the plots themselves, there's nothing, like, special to them. There's nothing like, whoa, I've never seen that on animation before. But I like the way it's executed because there is an actual story. And the actual story, which they explored in a couple of the animated shorts, which I really recommend you check out. They're like 5-6 minute episodes, which we'll talk about the length of the show in a minute. But there have been episodes that fully show backstory. The first one, it was called like the Warriors for Hire Special, something like that. And you see Vamber and Prohyas when they're little kids, and then their goals and how when they're little, all they want to do is help people. They want to protect. They want to fight, and they want to serve. And their idea, I mean, of course, it's a bit goofy, but they want to become warriors for hire, heroes for hire. And their last name's Warrior, so like Vamber Warrior and Prohyas Warrior. So you kind of get that. And you watch the Warriors for Hire business come along. You watch them not be accepted at first. And then you have the princess come along. Now, I find this to be a very, very fun supporting character. The princess of their kingdom, their land. I always forget the name of their land, but of course it's like a Lord of the Rings Hobbit type world with volcanoes, knights, battle swords, kingdoms, all that, castles. And I find this character to be very interesting because she plays for comedic relief, but she also is assigning the Warriors for Hire, Vamber and Prohyas, on their missions. And in a sense, Prohyas and Vamber, are you guys ready for this? They're mercenaries. They really are. If the princess goes, hey, go kill that guy for a new Magisword or for 50 jewels or whatever, they'd be like, oh, okay, we'll go do that. Of course, the show won't do that, mainly because of the fact that it's made for kids, but at the core. But at the core of them, they will do anything to get new Magiswords and to get more money. In a sense, that does kind of make them these warriors for hire type, mercenary type people. Again, animation style so vibrant, so interesting. Except for one thing, and this is one of my big flaws with the show. It's not a big flaw, it's a minor flaw, and that is the goofy faces every couple seconds. Now, I feel like Vamber and Prohyas look so badass. I really do. And I don't find this animation style to be goofy most of the time. But when you have a new person assigning assigning the warriors for hire a new mission, they especially Vamber, they put on these weird smiles where it looks so dumb, and that part to me, if there was any momentum building up to it of all this epicness, it kind of takes away from that with these goofy faces just to make kids laugh. And I feel like if it was timed a bit better, like if they never really did this, if it was just spontaneous in a certain situation, it actually might be funny. But the fact that they do it 3, maybe 4, maybe even 5 times throughout an episode, to me that kind of just makes it repetitive and a bit too much. It doesn't need to be there. That's a minor flaw, though. And that's pretty much my only big thing with it. I really do enjoy what I have found myself laughing out loud at some of the jokes. And I'm not saying it's an overly funny show. I'm not going to say it's anything on the level of like Rick and Morty or even something like The Simpsons, but it's definitely, it has its funny moments. And I think that's more than some other shows out currently. The voice actors, again, so great. One of the most, I'd say probably the most well-known voice actresses, Grey Griffin. Oh man, she is just phenomenal, and she plays Vamber. But she's had way over 400 voice acting jobs, and you can look her up. She is one of the greats, like Tara Strong. So very, very nice that she's part of the show. And then, of course, Kyle Carosa plays Prohias, which is awesome because he actually looks like Prohias. This is his show, his creation, and he made himself look like one of the main characters, which is pretty cool. Then you go to a character like Grupp, the dragon, who I find to be extremely funny, especially the episode where he's asking. You have to kind of watch it because you really, really have to watch it. It's at the very end of the Boulder episode with the Mummy, Magisword, and the Boulder. But he has the best comedic timing, and part of it has to do with the voice acting again for this character Grupp the dragon. Just very funny character. But I want to get back to the princess. To me, it seems like the princess. It actually seems like there is some big intertwining big story overarching over all of the Mighty Magiswords. Now, multiple times throughout these episodes lately, what's been happening is that the princess assigns the warriors for hire to go to a new part of the land to find to accomplish something, to find something. And they're like, what do you want us to get? And she's like, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And then they spontaneously somehow find a new Magisword, and they're like, princess, how did you know about the Magiswords? How do you know about these Magiswords? And she's like, don't worry about it. And that's how they always play it off in almost every episode. And to me, I feel like there is something bigger going on with the princess. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but Kyle Carosa, he has worked on SpongeBob, and I'll come out and say it. SpongeBob is definitely one of the greatest cartoons ever. It is. Everybody knows SpongeBob. And I think that another element that Kyle Carosa pulled from SpongeBob was definitely the idea of exploring a world. SpongeBob is amazing for many reasons. The idea of adult humor masquerade within, child humor. But really, to me, I love the idea of how big the ocean is and how much, throughout all these years of SpongeBob, like 15, 16, 17 years of SpongeBob, we have seen so much of this ocean. These characters go everywhere within 2 movies. And to me, Mighty Magiswords is doing that. They are exploring this world with dinosaurs, with volcanoes, with a desert-type cactus area. There's a snow episode with ice. You see the forest. You see the kingdoms. We're going to be going to the sky. I love the idea of showing this around. And to me, all these elements combined have really made for this to be a very enjoyable cartoon, something I can look forward to, even when it's not something as straightforward as like Total Drama, where you're always on the edge of your seat. To me, this is something that you can watch for pure enjoyment and have a good time with. Again, we're going to move into a different part of this review, the length of the episodes. Now, these episodes they're roughly in the range from 5 to 7 minutes, with a special vlog at the end, which I find the vlogs to be a very charming aspect of the show. The vlogs are at least 3 minutes each, so roughly, these episodes are from 9 to 11 minutes, and then with a commercial, and then they'll do 2 of them. So you see how it's going to fit into a half-hour block. But mainly, what's happened with this is that they compact a full-blown story within 5 to 7 minutes, and it feels like it's at least been a 15-minute story, but it's only been 5 to 7 minutes. That is genius. And that's how you know that this is a animated show worth watching, an animated show worth talking about. Somehow, a couple guys behind a camera and a couple of storyboard artists, they got me to sit down. They got me to sit down and think I was watching something for 15 minutes, but yet it was 5. That is brilliant. First of all, it's a time saver, number 1. And 2, it just goes to show the creativity there that pulls you in. And I find that to be just, that blows my mind. Because if they could really write something amazing, even more amazing than what we've already gotten, for a full half-hour thing, the sky's the limit. It really is. And that's why I do feel like this will be the next big thing, next big cartoon. Just really well done. And I'm very happy that this is going on. And I'm very much looking forward to it. So, if you've seen Mighty Magiswords, some of the shorts, maybe the first episode, let me know your thoughts on it. And if you're excited or for the rest of the season, or if you want some changes for it, let me know. I think they're making some great choices here, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing where they go. So that was a bit of a long review, but to me it needed to be a long review. I needed to stress the point that this is really a good show. But we're going to move into our second topic of the day, or the night. That is all going to be about the Nintendo 3DS Direct. We might have to cut this guy a little bit short because we possibly are going to be running over 35 minutes today, mainly because I have a big thing to talk about at the end with my final topic. But we're gonna go through this briefly. So the Nintendo Direct 3DS news, and that's where we're gonna kind of kick off for right now. So some of the big things that were announced in this were the Street Pass Me Plaza. Now that was something that was introduced back when the 3DS originally came out. For some of you guys who are 3DS fans, who aren't, but that was just a way to interact with other people, play games, just have a fun thing. Share your Miis. You guys all know the Miis. You can make your Mii. For pretty much, it was just a way to interact, but you could only interact with 10 people at a time. Now it's been changed to 100 people at a time. So that's humongous. That's times 10. You multiply times 10 your compatibility, and it's just. That's something that I'm very happy that they're doing, although that wasn't like my biggest thing to do on there. I think it's very much fun. It will be very much fun. Some updated stuff on the eShops. The Nintendo eShop will be launching exclusives. I think they already started launching their exclusives a couple days ago, but they're going to be starting to do these exclusives all the time, and these fun games or fun things you can unlock for certain games. So just more, you pay a good amount of money for a game for the 3DS, plus if you get the amiibos. And it'll be least Nintendo could do is give out some free, fun, goodies and exclusive stuff, and I think that's very nice of them, something that I think, is just another step in the right direction. But here's the big stuff for me, and that is Super Mario Maker coming to 3DS. Now, this was a breakout hit game back in, I think, last December, maybe November, and that was on the Wii U. Now, the Wii U is a very popular game, but really, Nintendo has had a lot of anticipation in the last few years because of the Nintendo NX, which we haven't heard much about, but, we've heard stuff about it, but, we don't know exactly what it's gonna look like. We know about it, but we don't know about it, if that makes sense. We have some facts, some ideas, but nothing to the point where we can be like, oh, it's gonna have this feature and this other feature. So we know some basics on it, but the 3DS has been a big thing for them, and I think transferring Super Mario Maker over to the 3DS is something that will maybe almost be even better, because now supposedly you will be able to build new Mario levels with friends. Now, of course, you were probably able to do that on the Wii U with multiple controllers, but now let's say your best friend who lives 4 blocks away from you wants to build a level with you at 10:30 at night. You guys can do that now together, and that's pretty cool. That's beyond cool. So just more communication stuff. I think that goes along with the Street Plaza for the Mii's. Street Pass Plaza. The other big thing for me is Yoshi's Woolly World, which is this will be launching in 2017 on the 3DS. Now, I was able to play Yoshi's Woolly World. I gave a review on it on this channel. You guys can check that out. But I love the 3DS. That's my thing. I'm a big 3DS guy. Donkey Kong Country Returns. I love that game in the 3DS. Super Mario, new Super Mario Brothers 2. I'm a big platformer. I know some people get tired of platformers. I love platformers because it just reminds me of my childhood, and it's just so much fun. I love platformers. And I liked New Yoshi Island, right? Super Yoshi Island, whatever it was called. I liked it, but I liked playing Yoshi's Woolly World more. Now that was on the Wii U. Now, I'm very excited to get my hands on this copy of the game for the 3DS because, of course, again, it'll have new features. Very similar to what, like, Donkey Kong did. It's going to be different controls, roughly similar but different controls, just with other features, other things that could happen and you could do. And I'm just happy. I'm very happy and very excited about that. Other games like Pikmin, sorry about that, Pinkman, that's coming back. I've never been a big Pinkman fan. You see how this is going? I'm saying first I'm saying Pikman, then I'm like Pikmin, and then I'm saying Pikmin Finn. It's the I's and the A's that are they're confusing me. Jeez. But then you have other things like Mario Sports Superstars, another game that'll be coming out in 2017. Now I used to play Super Mario Basketball on my old DS. And that was pretty fun. I like that. So I'm excited to see this. It's probably going to be similar to the Olympic Games, games and all that. Then we're going to be getting the lots and the tons of Legend of Zelda. I believe there's a new set of amiibos, like a Link. They're all about Link, but full-blown new set. Also, new Animal Crossing cards and amiibos will be coming out for that as well. But just overall, so much fun there. I'm very happy that this is what's going on. And I guess, this is the game, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. That will be launching for the virtual console services. So I guess that's 3DS on the Nintendo eShop. Trying to see if there's anything else I can pull out of here. Picross 3D Round 2. These seem like some other new games. Animal Crossing New Leaf. Pokemon Sun and Moon. I know that's a big deal. A lot of people are into that. Mario Party Star Rush. Now that's of course the new big game. And what does it say? Coming on November 4th. So that's coming up pretty soon. Sonic Boom Fire and Ice. The other big one I wanted to talk about. And that is coming out September 27th, so roughly pretty soon. And this is a new Sonic game coming out for the Nintendo 3DS, but the thing I wanted to talk about, mainly the animation concept here, is that they will be releasing 3 episodes of Sonic Boom, I guess, but it's going to be in the style of the way the video game is played out. And they're also supposedly going to be doing this with Yoshi's Woolly World as well. So, for me, and to me, that sounds great. Because I used to watch some of the old, they're kind of bad, but, the old Sonic cartoons, or the old, I take that back. The old Sonic cartoons aren't bad. The old Mario cartoons are kind of bad, but I used to watch them, and I still kind of like to look back at them. Sonic has had a bunch of great cartoons over the years, some better than others, but I think that there has definitely been a loss of Mario and Sonic and all them in between cartoons. I know Sonic Boom is a TV show that is going on, but it's not, to me, mainstream the way it should be, and I I mean, I know some people like the show. I don't watch it very much. I wish I was able to get more into it, but I just can't. But I do miss the Mario cartoons, so I think that's a pretty fun thing to get going. Yokai Watch, I guess that's coming back with some stuff. Fun fact from Power Rangers, Johnny Young Bosch, who played Adam, the Black Ranger, he voices the main character in Yokai Watch. I guess we're going to be getting a Disney Magical World too. For me, that's pretty much the only big stuff. But, there was a lot that was announced, and I just find it fun that they're going to be doing these animated shorts to go along with this. So, again, a lot of fun stuff there. We'll keep you guys posted. If there's any other big announcements that come out, if there's an animated show released, I will definitely keep you guys posted because I do indeed care about you guys. And now, closing off the episode, making this probably going to make this one of our longest episodes ever. The idea of where animation is going, and that scares me a bit, mainly because I love animation. If you can't tell, Jason Grayson, who's the co-founder, co-creator, whatever, main guy here with me and on the Big Bang Network, asked me to do a podcast. He's like, are you going to do any shows? And I'm like, what? I love cartoons. I'm going to talk about cartoons. I love cartoons, okay? And something that I got back into last year, which was pretty cool for me personally. But the big stuff is that, you look at this, you look at where it's going, and it's just a disappointment. Because I look back at the good old days, and the good old days is what led me to even want to talk about cartoons again. And that's part of why I'm excited for Mighty Magiswords, is because it's something fresh, it's something new, it's a new take. We Bear Bears, something new, something fresh, a brand new take. Steven Universe, a brand new, fresh, new, fun take. Regular show even, I guess. I don't know. Regular show's great, but it's another show about two best friends. To me, that Adventure Time were fine because they were the only two shows about, two best friends doing whatever they want, but I'm a little bit tired of that. There's been so many great animated shows, and I just feel like all these new crappy ones are putting the big kibosh on that. Right now, Kapow, just look at the animation style. It is terrible. And that sucks because someone's working their ass off to get that done. They're working hard. You look at something like the Powerpuff Girls reboot. Look, I originally, the first couple episodes I watched, I enjoyed, mainly because of the fact that I'm like, hey, it's gonna get better, just a slow start. You like the animation style. The only thing I could take away from Powerpuff Girls is the animation style. That's the only thing I like. Other than that, it's not good. And at least for me, I know some people are a big fan of that. It's been a big hit for Cartoon Network, but that's more in the kid demographic. And when you're a kid, you watch whatever you want because you can, except like bad stuff. But you know what I mean. Right, Teen Titans Go. Look, I'm a semi-fan of the show, I guess. Some episodes are better than others, but most of the time it's a disgrace to what Teen Titans used to be. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. And I'm really hoping that Justice League Action's good, but it's just, I don't know where cartoons are going, and I think over time, little kids are what's either going to happen is that cartoons are going to become more stupid, or you're going to see less of cartoons, because people are always going to just be more about, what's fresh, what's pop culture news, all that, and on your phones, and you're not going to even watch cartoons as much, because people might not even have TVs at that point, because everything is going to be on the phone, and I really feel like there are so many new places that Disney XD could go. There's so many new places Cartoon Network could go. Same thing with Nickelodeon. And instead, you're feeding me, the Pickle and Peanut. And a bunch of the other ones got canceled, like Wander Over Yonder. Look, I wasn't a big fan of that, but that got canceled. 7D, I think that got canceled. Maybe not. I don't know. But Disney XD is canceling a lot of their shows to bring in these goofy craps. All right, and now Cartoon Network's doing similar things to make room for other new shows. And I guess they're going to be getting rid of regular show pretty soon. Teen Titans Go has not been renewed. Steven Universe has not been renewed. So we don't know where they're going, but there are a lot of bad pilots that Cartoon Network has had out, and I don't care for the animation style, I don't care for the plot. It just seems like something that is just filler, to be filler, to just have a new spot, a new thing on their channel, a new attraction, and that bugs me, because I look at Kim Possible, and I'm like, that's a badass action cartoon, that is so good. I look at something like Danny Phantom, like, man, that was so amazing. You know, I look at the original days of Fairly Odd Parents, like, that was pretty great, and I remember really chilling out there, and I just feel like that's not living up. That's like, it's going down the drain. Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, such a good show. Such a good show. And Be Cool Scooby-Doo, hey, it's not terrible. It's not terrible, but again, it's that goofier type style. Did that goofy type style need to happen? No. Because kids only want to see that, and I don't think that's what kids need. I really feel like, you know, something just that more thorough is something that needs to be done. And something that has a plot, and not just two best friends or two food objects or two, you know, shapes, just doing whatever they feel like. And to me, to me that makes animation an unsteady process, and an unsteady and an unreliable business. Over time it will be, because I hope it's just a trend, but, you know, you never know. And there will eventually be better things on TV, or better things on your phones, or to do, than to watch, you know, two foods do whatever they feel like. And that bugs me. So all I'm saying is I'm hoping that Mighty Magiswords continues being as great as it is for me right now. And I hope that Cartoon Network has the balls to actually put out something different. So we'll see where that goes. Same thing goes with, you know, Disney XD. Gravity Falls was so great, and then that ended, and you never know what they're gonna do. Milo Murphy's Law is coming back, or it's debuting, but it's like Phineas and Ferb's almost coming back. So I think that's gonna be a right step in the direction. But I think animation is going in a sideways direction, and I think it needs to be going up more than sideways. So we'll see what happens. But let me know your thoughts on where you think animation currently is, and just in general what you want to see. And maybe you do want to see Pickle and Peanut more. Maybe you'd like to see something like Total Drama again, or Johnny Test again. So we'll see, but let me know your thoughts on that, and let me know your thoughts on Mighty Magiswords and some of the new Nintendo 3DS announcements. It's been a fun one. Thank you guys for watching this very long episode. I think this will be our longest episode so far. I will be back, I believe, Saturday or Sunday. I hope, you know, things happen, but expect a new one sometime next week. That will be number 19, and then the following week, number 20. We've got some fun stuff planned, and I'll actually be taking requests of animated shows you want me to talk about. I'm going to be doing a whole thing on classic cartoons. That whole episode will all be about classic cartoons. So if you have specific classic cartoons you want me to talk about, let me know. Thank you so much for watching this episode, new installment of Animation Block. And I'm Ryder from Infinite Attitude and the Big Bang Network. And have a good one, guys. I'll see you soon, I hope. See you later.